Florida has a monster problem. Deep in the Everglades, an army of 20-foot, 200-pound apex predators is eating the ecosystem alive. The state has tried everything to stop them, and they are openly admitting defeat. But recently, a rumor started bleeding out of the humid darkness of South Florida. A rumor so wild, people thought it was just another Florida man internet joke. What if, backed into a corner, the government secretly released the most famously fearless, untamable animal on Earth to hunt the snakes down? Everyone laughed at the memes. But strange things are starting to happen deep in the swamp. And if the whispers are true, the state of Florida may have just pulled off the most desperate, dangerous ecological gamble in history. To understand why people even believe this rumor, you have to understand the sheer scale of the nightmare Florida is facing. In the 1980s, Burmese pythons were the ultimate exotic pet, but when they got too big, careless owners just dumped them in the swamp. Then in 1992, Hurricane Andrew flattened southern Florida, blowing apart reptile breeding facilities and scattering hundreds more into the wild. The Everglades, warm, wet, and packed with food, was a paradise for a predator with zero natural enemies. Today, there are tens of thousands of them. And the devastation? It's hard to even wrap your head around. Imagine walking through a massive, lush national park and realizing, geological survey studies show a 99% drop in raccoon populations. Opossums, 98%. Marsh rabbits and bobcats have effectively vanished. These snakes eat everything, including the alligators. Florida has spent millions fighting back. They host an annual Python Challenge bounty hunt. They use infrared drones. They even use Judas snakes, pythons fitted with GPS trackers to lead hunters to hidden mating balls. It is one of the most high-tech invasive species wars on Earth. But scientists will look you dead in the eye and tell you, we are losing. For every snake caught, dozens more are born. So, what do you do when technology and manpower fail? You turn to a very old, very dangerous idea: biological control. Fighting a predator with another predator. Historically, this is considered the cardinal sin of conservation. In the 1930s, Australia introduced cane toads to eat beetles. The toads ignored the beetles and became a toxic plague. Hawaii brought in mongooses to kill rats. The mongooses ate all the native birds instead. You just don't introduce a new apex predator, but the internet loves a good meme. On Reddit and 4chan, the honey badger solution became a running joke. Why the honey badger? Because they are rubber-skinned, razor-clawed maniacs that actively hunt venomous snakes in Africa. But wildlife experts like Dr. Frank Mazzotti at the University of Florida were quick to shut the joke down. Scientifically, it's a terrible idea. Honey badgers are opportunistic omnivores. If you dropped them in Florida, they wouldn't just hunt 200-pound pythons. They'd take the easy meals, the eggs of endangered sea turtles, the nests of rare birds, the few native mammals left. The cure would absolutely be worse than the disease. Officially, it was never on the table. It was pure fantasy until early 2024. The internet sleuthing started with a leaked, unverified screenshot on a niche hunting forum. An alleged internal agency email containing just 2 words: "It's done." Normally, you'd ignore it. But the timing was incredibly suspicious. Around that exact same week, veteran python hunters started finding anomalies. Carcasses torn open with a chaotic ferocity that didn't look like alligator bites. Claw marks on mud banks that didn't match native otters or bears. Then, the state quietly issued official notices. Several remote zones near the southern Everglades were temporarily closed to the public for habitat recovery operations. Drone hobbyists flying near the perimeter claimed they caught glimpses of small, fast-moving black and white animals darting through the brush. They publicly denied everything. The email was a fake. The sightings were just weirdly shaped raccoons. There is no secret project. But here's the thing about the internet. Tell people there's nothing to see, and they'll look twice as hard. Environmental data geeks pointed out an unexplained sudden dip in python captures inside those newly restricted zones. Was it a natural fluctuation? But the legend had already taken hold. A secret black ops wildlife experiment, hidden right under our noses. Today, there is zero hard evidence. No verified photos, no captured badgers, no whistleblower stepping forward. If you look at the facts, the honey badger gambit is nothing but an internet myth born out of absolute desperation. And yet, residents living on the edge of the swamp swear they've started hearing strange guttural growls echoing through the mangroves at night. Trappers joke that they don't even care if it's true. If something out there is finally eating the pythons, let it keep eating. Or did the myth itself become a coping mechanism for a war we know we've already lost? The truth is buried somewhere deep in those endless miles of sawgrass. But I want to know what you think. Is this just another crazy internet conspiracy, or is Florida crazy enough to have actually pulled the trigger? Let me know down in the comments. If you want to dive into more of the internet's greatest mysteries and bizarre history, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes on the swamp.